Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Disattractions. And again, for the next 2 weeks in a row now, not 2 weeks, 2 episodes in a row now, almost a whole month, you guys will only have me again. Brett is still traveling. He had a couple complications getting back home, but he's safe, and he's currently traveling back home as we speak from his trip. And so, again, he's still not available to do another episode. And I don't want to leave you guys without an episode. I don't want to just not give you one. So I thought, let's do another single episode, one off with me. Hope you guys will continue to enjoy these. And at the end, you'll probably have had enough of me. But today's topic, if you couldn't tell by the title, sorry for that notification sound. For today's topic, I thought we could cover something that's kind of related to our Disattractions main, our main kind of line videos, is the difference between theme parks and amusement parks, because those are two different things. And it's kind of important to discuss a little bit, because there are differences. What we're making our theme parks, or talking about our theme parks, versus an amusement park. And I kind of have a list of show notes here that I'm going to go off of and kind of just go down. And I thought it'd be kind of fun if we could just take a look at different things. So we're going to kind of take a look at see what a theme park is by definition. And this is just a Google definition. This isn't anything crazy. It's just Google. But so a theme park is an amusement park designed around a central theme, such as the world of the future, or divided into areas with different themes. I'm gonna go to an actual website here. A large permanent public entertainment a large permanent area for public entertainment with entertaining activities and big machines to ride on or play games, or on restaurants, etc. Sometimes all connected with a single subject. I guess that one. A large permanent area for public entertainment with amusement, rides, foods, etc., all connected with a single subject. So, again, what's important here on this definition, this is on Cambridge, so whatever that you make of that. The main thing here is all connected with a single subject, or all connected with a subject, right? So that's the difference between theme parks and amusement parks, because if you search up amusement park, right? Go to the same website, because why not, right? This is what this says: a place where people can go to enjoy games, rides, and other activities, right? This is the very interesting definition of that, but again, it's without the under the central theme part. The ending bit is the central theme part, obviously. A commercially operated park having various devices for entertainment. And so, kind of reading theme park, amusement, and every theme park it is an amusement park, but not every amusement park is a theme park. You know what I mean? It almost seems that way. But again, what's important here is that theme parks differentiate because they're all connected with a single subject, versus which amusement parks don't really have that. So that's what each of them are. If you go to a local tiny close amusement park, I'm trying to think of any off the top of my brain that I'm close to. Not really. But you have stuff like, I argue Six Flags is more of a amusement park than a theme park most of the time. SeaWorld really isn't. I'd consider that more of a theme park. You go down the list of stuff. Maybe Kings Island. Maybe things like Carowinds. Kind of things like that, where those are more they're built just with rides and entertainment, not under a central theme. They're just kind of because Six Flags build their coasters. They have themes for their coasters, but the park isn't under a central theme. It's just you're making attractions in your park that number one, offers thrill. I think that's a big piece in between theme parks and amusement parks. Is theme parks is number one is storytelling and is storytelling. While amusement parks are way more like their number one is almost thrill factors a lot of the time, and so that's why you see always companies like Six Flags or like Busch Gardens. I mean, Busch Gardens is a little bit of the theme going on. But you have those, parks that are always trying to top their roller coasters or top a drop tower ride or top everything and meet those benchmark meet or surpass those benchmarks to kind of like be the next big thing, and versus very high theme parks, or very well like expensive theme parks like Universal, Disney, whatever you have, those are mainly going to try to entertain via their storytelling and immersive nature, right? um, and I guess this is important to discuss because when we're creating our theme parks for our imagined theme parks for Disattractions, we are mainly trying to focus as much immersion as possible because we want it to be a theme park, not an amusement park. And not this is not dissing on amusement parks. Amusement parks have their place, and they're definitely very they're great. You don't necessarily need to have a theme in your park. You don't need to. That's going a step and beyond. That's what makes theme parks take a lot of time and effort to do because it takes a lot of mind like thought power. It takes a lot of purposefulness, if that's a word. It takes a lot of thinking, and a lot of extra attention to detail and all of this, which is definitely not needed to create a successful amusement park. It's not. You've had parks be just fine, just being normal amusement parks. I mean, fairs go around, county fairs go around year after year, and those are more of like an amusement park kind of. They're fairs, they're different, but it's amusement park adjacent. It's a step below an amusement park. But what was I gonna say? Going down here, but of course, kind of listing out some amusement parks and some theme parks. Of course, your main two theme parks are Disney and Universal. Disney and Universal are the two theme parks that I think go out with their theming the most. They are absolutely insane with what they do. They have the money to do so. It makes sense. They go absolutely crazy with their theme parks. And they will try to be the most top tier theme park that you'll ever go to. They're always trying to one up each other. They're in that constant state where they're trying to make new and more immersive worlds. Every month they're coming out with something that's trying to top one or the other. And then of course this isn't like what is a theme park, what isn't what isn't a theme park, because there are scales of it. Because kind of going back to what I said earlier about SeaWorld, SeaWorld is very much. It's not like purposefully immersive, but it is themed to ocean life. That's a theme park, and can be labeled as one. There is a central theme there. There is a central idea that consists throughout a whole entire park, except for Sesame Street World. That's wild that's there, but it's also endearing. Same thing with Busch Gardens Tampa. I've never been to any of the other Busch Gardens around the world, but I have been to Tampa, and that one is also themed to animals. And I could probably consider that a minor theme park because it does its theming well. I mean, it has, all these different animals there, all the different animals to, encounter. The rides are themed after animals. They have different sections, I believe. I'm trying to remember what exactly, but like Cheetah Run was a roller coaster I went on. They had I forget the name. They have a snake one. They have all these different rides named after animals. So there is a theme there. Is it as themed as like Universal or Disney? No, but it's still well themed. You know what I mean. It still has a purpose for why it's there, and and adding the animal aspect into it. I'd argue it's more theme park. And then you have Six Flags, which in all honesty, looking back, I've never been to a Six Flags before, so I can't label if it exactly is. But from my from the looks of it, it's more amusement park than theme park. Because I know they have like things like Batman the ride and stuff like that, and I want to say that they had a Superman one. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've never been. But like things like Six Flags Magic Mountain, Six Flags Great America, all these different things. It's like Six Flags Over Georgia, Six Flags. All these Six Flags are mainly an amusement park. They're very high end amusement parks. That's I guess what I'm trying to say. They're probably one of the cream of the crop when it comes to amusement parks. They're not really theme parks. They're just purely for amusement and thrill, which has its place definitely because those parks have pretty intense roller coasters and pride themselves on their coaster lineup. It's for coaster enthusiasts. When it comes to coaster like enthusiasm and stuff, I'm somewhere in the middle. I love coasters. They are one of my favorite modes of like ride in theme parks. I always love coasters. I've always loved how fast you go, the wind in your head and in your face and everything. I always thought those were probably the most. I don't know. I get the most satisfaction after riding them. I think going to one of back when I was younger. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. It's like 8:30 in the morning, and I'm just haven't. Here's my coffee right here, but I'm tweaking around a little bit. But I guess I'm gonna go my past a little bit here. So when I was younger, I didn't like roller coasters at all. I wouldn't actually go on a lot of rides as a kid because I was too scared. I was very squeamish. And then one day, all of that turned around for me. I don't even know what happened, but I just all of a sudden I was fine with it and I was cool with it. And now to the point where I've gone on, Iron Gwazi, which was probably the most intense roller coaster I've ever been on in my life. More so than Velocicoaster. I'd probably say Velocicoaster's 2. And then 1 is Iron Gwazi over at Busch Gardens, Tampa. That thing is insane. But I guess what I'm going back to say is that I'm not a coaster junkie. I'm not the people at the end of the spectrum who has to tally their credits, their coaster credits, has to try to go on every single little coaster they come across. I'm not one of those. I try to, you know what I mean? I want to. Try to do some of that, so I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to it. I really do think that's cool that people will go out and have lists of all the exact coasters that they've been on, because that's pretty cool. You get to see their history of where they've been, when they went, coasters that don't exist anymore. It's almost like a way to document their life a little bit in a tiny way. If you tally the dates. You go, maybe even the time you went on the ride or something, that'd be kind of fun to add in. It's just fun. Just hopping off of that other track back onto the main track here. This is probably going to be a pretty short episode, probably around the 20-minute mark. Since Brett isn't here, I really don't have much to talk about when it comes to this topic. Because it's a pretty easy topic, but I also think it was worth discussing a little bit because there is a difference. But is one better than the other? Obviously not. I kind of mentioned this throughout the whole entire episode so far, is that there is not one that's better than another. Sure, I prefer theme parks over amusement parks any day because I do like the added work to detail. Not only do you have to make attractions, not only do you have to create restaurants, not only do you have to make shows, not only do you have to do events, but you have to surround those events to a main point and try to tie them all together. That's the amazing thing about theme parks to me, is taking this, and this, wrapping them all together to actually connect them all. And I think that's impressive when it's done really well. Galaxy's Edge is done really well. Harry Potter has done really well for Universal, all because they do that really well. Sure, at least in the Star Wars case, Hollywood Studios doesn't really make sense as a place place for Star Wars. Disneyland makes a little bit more sense because they connect in between Fantasyland and Frontierland, which it's a mix of fantasy and the frontier, like a new frontier. So it's like, okay, cool, you're going to Star Wars land. At least they tried. You know what I mean? They tried to create a good themed flow into the Star Wars land. Harry Potter is. Universal's always been that way. They've always just been slamming IPs anywhere because that's how their park has been since the beginning, pretty much. But I prefer theme parks a little bit more than amusement parks. Doesn't mean I discredit the amusement parks because they definitely have their place. You can create more of them because it takes less time to make. You can go all out with thrill as a draw factor instead of it being a themed experience. Your draw factor is the thrill of an amusement park. There usually are a lot more obviously family operated, or more so family operated. Most of the time they have a very much more direct like way about them that's just like, here's this, while theme parks really try to immerse yourself in the world and might be less direct about things. Like credits in Star Wars, is the best way I can put it, is that they'll say, oh, it's this many credits for something, and people are like, what is that? And it's just mean currency. Stuff like that. Or like their amusement parks are much more direct about not only that, but their services as well. They are not trying to necessarily always hide everything like Disney does, where it's like they're trying to hide the magic, and try to keep the magic there. Amusement parks are not really that way. They're a lot more direct with their customers, I guess is what I mean, about their attractions, about everything. I think of any more kind of, if theme parks and amusement parks are really close together. They really are. Amusement parks are, again, kind of reviewing, I guess, because this is a really funny episode. A theme park is basically an amusement park designed around a central theme. That creates it a theme park. An amusement park is the theme park definition, but without the added or created for a central theme, right? And so theme parks are like Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, even Busch Gardens to a point. And amusement parks are like, Six Flags, Carowinds, I want to say, Kings Island. I'm really racking my brain here. I feel like I am missing some big ones here in the U.S. But I can't think of any. I guess another theme park is Silver Dollar City. That's a center around a central theme. But yeah, pretty much. Looks like this episode is going to be around 20 minutes, but I appreciate you being patient with us as Brett returns from his project. It's honestly kind of hard to record these alone because there's no one to really respond to, or and there's no one. It's like I'm talking with someone, so it makes a lot more sense to me just talking to myself about something, and I can't really, this isn't very structured, obviously, as you can tell, because it's how structured can an episode like this really be? So sorry if this is all sporadic around the place and are just my random rambling thoughts, but at least it's something for you guys to listen to, maybe in the car as you're driving to work, or doing maybe doing some chores or something like that. This is kind of my thoughts about theme parks and amusement parks, I guess. But we appreciate every single view that we get. We appreciate every single little bit of interaction that we get. We appreciate all of you guys for listening, and it really does mean a lot that someone out there is listening to us just spew about random stuff about one of our interests. And we hope that you have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week. Again, thank you for watching and listening. We really do appreciate it. It makes us feel like there's other people that are interested in what we do, so thank you. And hopefully this has been a little bit informational. Probably not. It's pretty self-explanatory, but getting that definition out there, that what each is kind of important to what we're talking about, because there are differences in what we're trying to do is create theme parks. We're not trying to create amusement parks, because theme parks are a lot more fun to make, in my opinion, and more fun to dream up. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.